worst pain I've ever been in. I don't like to think about it. I didn't dare try and move my feet or anything. But I've always been sort of the comeback kid. In that moment, I was just like, is it worth it anymore? No regrets.
Hi guys, welcome to another video, another episode of Just Chat with Jay. It's been a hot minute since I have filmed any of these types of videos, but I did really enjoy doing them back in the earlier parts of the year before life became a bit crazy. And I'm bringing them back for the festive season. We've got Vlogvember, which we've not spoke loads about, and we've also got Vlogmas coming.
Vlogvember.
Yeah.
I like it.
So today I'm joined by Ashley Watson. If people have not met you before,
Hi.
Ashley, do you want to just let them know who you are?
My name is Ashley Watson. I'm 31 years young, from the city of Leeds in England.
And
I'm an ex-gymnast, now content creator, who lives here with the love of my life, Joanna Wilson.
thank you.
Did I say that all right, yeah?
Yeah. Today's chat topic is going to be about getting injured,
Right?
which is a
I'm
topic
very
that
experienced.
this man is very familiar with. Yeah, I think let's just get straight into it. So do you want to sort of give us a bit of a journey through your injury
Okay.
timeline?
I've been a professional gymnast from the age of 7 and I retired at around 27. Through that, I've had multiple injuries. Gymnastics is rife of injuries. Where would you want me to start?
What was your first
Timeline.
biggest injury, do you think?
As with gymnastics, you have loads of little injuries that sort of put you out for a month, maybe 2 months sort of thing. The biggest first injury for me was when I snapped my ACL.
Which stands for?
A cruciate? No, it's cruciate ligament, isn't it?
Something cruciate ligament.
Yeah. I was doing the under 16 British Championships. Basically, whoever won the all-around British champs got the opportunity to fly out to Japan and compete in an international out there. I had actually, funny enough, just come back from, I think it was a shoulder injury at the time.
Okay.
So this was like my mini little comeback into competition. I ended up winning the all-round in under 16 British. So I was buzzing, so I get to fly out to Japan. And when we was out there, we was doing the hour warm-up, and I was on vault. I was doing a new vault at the time for myself. It was a Yuchenko double twist. I'm sure you can ping a Yuchenko double twist for the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a new vault. I was scared, but we wanted to do one in the warm-up over hard before I put my arm up and competed. I did the vault, wrapped it in. I sort of landed a bit hesitantly because obviously I was a bit nervous. My feet landed and planted, but like I didn't sort of open out to stick it. I sort of just kept twisting. So I just dragged it round. Sort of my feet stayed planted. The rest of my body kept on twisting. And sort of like, imagine this is my knee joint. It sort of just ripped off. I didn't know at the time, but it actually just absolutely snapped my ACL.
Did it really hurt?
I didn't feel out snap. I didn't feel it wasn't too much pain. And I sort of like hobbled off and I sort of sat down. I was like, oh, that's not good. All these Japanese doctors and physios and everybody came over, strapped it up hella tight. Had a little walk around and everyone was like, how do you feel? Is it okay? Sort of thing. Felt really tight at the top of my calf. So I'm just thinking, alright, I tweaked my calf or something.
Do you remember wanting to compete or feeling like you had to compete?
It was a bit of both. It was like wanting to, because I've proved myself coming back that I'm good enough and I want to show off and try and win away in Japan. It's such a big event. And then also I felt as in, obviously, people invested time and money and whatever in getting me to Japan to compete, that I felt like if I didn't compete, then it would have been a waste of everyone's time and money.
Yeah. Do you think that if you could go back, you would have still made the decision to compete?
If I could go back now and change it knowing what happened,
happened?
100%, yeah, I'd definitely not have continued. We missed floor. We went to pommel horse. I did a pommel routine. Let's do a handstand dismount, sort of landing on one leg, presented, buzzing, get to rings. My dismount at the time was a full twisting double somersault. So I did all my rings routine and then me and coach decided to not do the full twist, just to do a double back so it's all on axis and we can land straight and it should be fine. Do my rings routine, do a nice double back, open out, go to land. So I land, and then this that's not connected with an ACL, it felt like my knee just went like down the side of my, it obviously didn't, but that's what it felt like it did. That's when I absolutely trashed my cartilage.
So you do that dismount.
Yeah.
Feel like your leg has literally like touched your toe and come
Ooh,
back up.
Yeah.
Then what happens? You fall to the floor, you shout, ow.
I might have like stood up on one leg and like saluted because he didn't finish your team, but I think I couldn't. He was mashed. They take my lungs off so they can like re-examine it and look at it. I was just in my leotard, no lungs, in a wheelchair. They take me to hospital, so I'm getting wheeled around an hospital in Japan in my leotard. But then they just sort of put me in a half cast. I might get it seen to when you get home.
So you didn't come home early, you stayed for the rest of the trip?
Yeah, managed to bag myself front row of the aeroplane home for extra leg room because I had my cast on. The next day went into the gym because we had like a physio. I remember so vividly her just walking across the gym. She's like, what have you done now, sort of thing. I'm like, no. She's like, okay, let's have a look, get out of the cast. And she literally went like this, lifted it up, grabbed that like that and went like that, and she went, yeah. I like saw it in her face. She sort of drained and went proper serious, which is brutal. And then she explained what it was. It's going to be at least 9 months recovery. So that was sort of like the first big injury I had, and a couple more after that.
And you were 16 at the time?
16.
Yeah. And do you remember how it felt?
It was definitely tough because I sort of made this mini comeback, and then I was the all-around champion again. I was the best in Britain in my age group and like buzzing up, and then all of a sudden just hit another brick wall and just a full-on even worse injury. I just took it a day at a time, and I got my rehab that I needed to do, and just getting the surgeries done. Then it was walk again, then it was rebounding, then it was I can do some tumbling, and then I can do it on the actual floor. Now I can dismount. And
what sort of level of gymnastics were you at when you came back?
I came back to 6P, so I was the GBR squad again, competing internationally. 2011 I did my ACL. 2009 I did my ACL. I should have prepared for this.
So if you were 16, you did your ACL in 2008?
2008. I had sort of recurring issues with my knee because of my cartilage.
So you were at university at this point?
So yeah, I'm at university.
So you'd gotten through maybe 3-4 years.
And we were going to be competing at the Universiade. So this one was in China, and we was at Lilleshall training for it. I remember doing a new floor routine. We were doing like a control comp. It was my turn to go. I did a full floor routine, and then on my last tumble, I ran round off flick, set up to go for my double Arabian. And as I took off to go into the somersault, I felt like my foot went through the floor. So I sort of did like a single somersault, opened out, like sort of rolled out and stood up to turn around to point at the floor to be like, fuck, I've broken the floor, and I sort of stand up on my leg and it sort of gives way. So I grab my foot lace and I'm like, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Even though you're looking at it.
Yeah, well, I think like I just knew that
it didn't work.
It didn't work. And then it's gone. Like, fuck, not this again. Like sort of just flashbacks from all of the previous injuries sort of hit me. Like I can't do another one of these. Yeah.
So at this point you were actually shouting, angry, like at your foot and the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was brutal.
So you went to the hospital. You'd snapped your Achilles.
Went to the hospital, yeah. Lucky enough that I had like private healthcare because of gymnastics and stuff. So within 5 or 6 days I was having the operation. The worst freaking pain I've ever been in. So rather than a usual Achilles snaps at the bottom, which is why it's really loud, but what mine did was halfway up where it sort of nearly attaches to the calf, it sort of sheared away from each other. So you had to go in and like put them all together and attach it together there. So I wake up, she's like, okay, actually we need to put it into a cast. I'm like, okay. I want to demonstrate so you guys can feel it. So imagine you just had the Achilles reattached, yeah? Goes, okay, puts it here like this, goes, I need to stretch it as much as I can to strap it up. Stretching my Achilles.
What did you do?
It was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I had an image in my head of he's just attached it with stitches, so she's gonna fucking snap it again.
So between those two were your two major injuries, right?
Yeah.
What were the similarities and what were the differences between like the immediate reaction, aftermath, and then like approach following the injury?
The first time, so when I had the ACL in Japan, I didn't know what was to come. that helped a lot in the sort of just, okay, let's just go with it. I've not done it before. I'll just follow what I need to do and sort of get it done. 5 years down the line, when I did my Achilles, I knew what it was going to entail, and also I'm 5 years older, so I don't have as long left in my gymnastics career. I'm at university, I can't walk. I knew what was to come, which is why I think the initial response when I knew I'd sort of really done something wrong to it was like, fuck, why me? Because I knew what was to come this time.
How did you cope?
I hit the bottle. The first injury, the ACL, I was younger, so obviously I wasn't drinking alcohol or didn't have any vices to sort of cope. I was just so in a mindset of, I'm just gonna come back even better. When I was at uni, didn't really know if I was gonna go back to doing gymnastics again. I just sort of lived a normal life, which maybe hindered my recovery, but I think I kind of needed it.
Did you come back?
Yeah, fucking smashed it. That's when I became a specialist. I still did some floor and pommel so I could be a part of teams, but I mostly focused on P-bars and high bar. I managed to get a European final on high bar and go to the World Championships for parallel bars. But like at the end of all of it, I'm super happy and proud and have absolutely zero regrets on what I achieved and what I did in the sport and sort of how I coped and dealt with setbacks. In reflection, I may have been more of the unlucky ones in the sport. I can't change it, can I?
You gotta play the cards you dealt.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just completely shattering what you've just said. What do you think your career could have or would have looked like had you not had those two major injuries?
I've been asked that question before, and I don't really like to dive too deeply into it. Of course, if I wouldn't have had the injuries, I would have probably gone further in gymnastics. I don't like to think about it because all it's going to do is upset me or whatever. Like, I did what I did and I'm proud of it, so...
Do you have any regrets?
No regrets.
Have you stayed injury free since that Achilles?
Not completely. I had my wrist injury, which stopped me from doing P-bars and high bar, which is obviously my apparatus. But I've always been sort of a comeback kid, and then I had a bit of an accident on the high bar. I was doing a Kovac action where you create loads of speed, get a big bounce on the bar, and then to fling yourself over the bar and do 2 somersaults and to catch again. But at the bottom of the bar, my guard snapped. I came feet down and sort of landed in a scorpion. Almost like the back of my head was touching my bum. I rolled over onto my back and I was grabbing my legs. I didn't dare try and move my feet or anything, just in case they wouldn't move. It was absolutely frigging terrifying. And I just laid there and finally I had the courage to move when I could move, and I was like, fucking thank God for that. And like in that moment I was just like, is it worth it anymore? Like, I put my body through absolute hell for this sport, and then it was from that moment then that I pretty much retired.
What advice would you give to somebody who's at sport in any level and gets injured and in the gym, out of the gym?
I'd say is try not to see it as an inconvenience and just something that you just sort of trying to get over as quick as possible so you can get back playing. Listen to your physios and your doctors, do exactly what they say. You can't do too little rehab. I don't know, it's tough, innit? Because everybody deals with it differently, and you will deal with it differently in different times of your life, like I did. I always had the mindset of I want to go back to that first competition or that first training camp, and people see that I'm training again and be like, holy shit, I wish I was training harder now, because I wasn't expecting it to come back to be this good. Don't see it in a negative way, try and use it as motivation.
You're sort of still doing the sport. You've managed to avoid anything major happening.
Touch wood now.
Do you think that one sort of the injury and the way that you had to end your career in gymnastics left a sour taste in your mouth around the sport? And 2, where do you sit with that now?
It hasn't really left a sour taste. It might be quite poetic that I went out that way. It would have been nice to have had a moment of going to a competition and winning, and that's how I hang up my guards of like, okay, I've done it now, sort of thing. When my guard snapped, came off the bar and bent in half and whatever, and I was like, maybe I'm not gonna be able to walk again. My mind shifted immediately in that moment to there's so much more in life than this gymnastics bubble that we're in, and I don't know, I just had almost a new appreciation for it.
Yeah. And what's your relationship like with the sport now?
It's good now, it's better, like I'm actually doing it for fun because I get to choose what I want to do, and I get to use this skill set that I've been working on my whole life to have fun.
I think quite often in all walks of life you get sort of setbacks that are unexpected, but also that you cannot change
Totally.
on some level, and everybody deals with it in a different way, and you're an inspiration
Thank you.
to us all for what you've had to deal with in your
you.
gymnastics career from an injury perspective. Right, there we have it. Injury talk with Ash Watson. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please go follow us both, subscribe to Ash, subscribe to the other channels. We've got Black Friday sales coming very soon for both of our products, and excitingly we
24!
are going to be launching a joint product together that's going to be available on the 1st of December. It's called 24. More info to come, I think.
Yeah.
But it's going to absolutely revolutionise your 2024. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be available on the 1st of December. Keep smashing it, and remember, anything is possible if you just work.
Bye!